start with Bill on question number 2. If the tax ballot measure does not pass, the district is expected to lose $1,245,000. Name up to 3 actions you would support to help the district if that happens.
Well, first thing pops into my head is, oh my heavens, I hope that the tax ballot passes, but assuming it does not, I cannot say in all honesty that I've had enough experience with what's been going on with the budget in the valley to be able to make recommendations to for actions that I would recommend we take. Although the idea of being able to entice students from other districts here is interesting. I wonder how many you could get, and would it be enough to make a shortfall, make up for a shortfall of $1,245,000. I would want to give that some serious research and some serious thought. Just think of what actions we could do to support the district if that happens. The idea of 100 for the teachers was an interesting one, and I know from what I've read that it was considered successful, but I know that the total amount wasn't really enough to do an awful lot. It certainly wasn't anywhere near $1 million. So I'm hard pressed to think of something sitting here right now with a little green light blinking, something to do that we could change that shortfall.
Okay, thank you. Linda, I'll go to you next.
Okay.
If the tax ballot measure does not pass, the district is expected to lose $1,245,000. Name up to 3 actions you would take or you would support to help the district if that happens.
Well, first of all, the school boards must balance the budget. That's the primary reason that a school board exists. So if a school board doesn't balance the budget, I don't know if you guys out there know, but there's a state agency called FCMAT. It's Fiscal Crisis Management Assistance Team. They come in, they take over a school district, they fire the administrators, they fire the school board, and they reorganize the school district to their liking. They do loan the school district money, but the school district has to pay that money back. And so one of the ways they do that is probably by selling property, school district property, things like that. So not balancing the budget is not an option. So the first thing we would have to do, other than making it a general appeal to the community, would be to reduce the school year. We'd have to reduce the school year by 2 to 3 weeks in order to keep the budget balanced, which would entail a horrendous pay cut for all of our staff, everyone. And this is not, this is not something that any board member, any employee ever wants to have to say that that's the kind of action that's going to happen. I'd be willing to stand at a street corner with boots to, get people to fill with cash. I mean, I'd do anything actually to try to keep that from happening. But like Bill says, $1 million is a lot of money to ask for donations. And I don't know if we have members of I know we do have some very wealthy members of our community that we can perhaps appeal to, but other than that, I don't have another solution.
And Thayne will finish. Second question with you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, that's fine, but I think Kevin will need to go after I finish.
I'm passing on this one. That's in the rules, I thought.
But I'm happy to go now, and rather than repeat some of the things that were mentioned by other people in the panel, I'd like to hit 3 separate things. One is that I think we need to lobby our legislators. We need to stay in front of them. We need to be there. I have personally gone to our state legislator, Jeff Gorell, and to our state senator, Tony Strickland's office. I've talked to them about the need for public education. In fact, in my meetings, there was an issue on the ballot that would have severely hurt us in being able to sell surplus equipment and property. In part, there were other people who were lobbying as well, but I think in part, to my conversations, that was changed so that we don't have the same restrictions we would have had otherwise. I just made a couple of charts here, and I wasn't sure when I was going to use them, but
Would you like to pass them, or do you need
well, I'll just hold them up for now, and then we can talk about them later. But if you look at, oh, actually, I think I might show them later. But state revenues have increased for the last several years, and spending per pupil has decreased. And I'll show these later. But our legislators need to know. Locally, I think we need to reach out to the people who live in our valley. We've requested a parcel tax in years past, but I think the situation has changed so much it may be time to ask again soon. And then outreach through nonprofits. I was the president of the Ojai Education Foundation. I've been involved with a lot of charitable organizations, nonprofit educations in the valley. We have really stepped it up in the past, and I think we can look to step it up again in the future. All of these are partial answers, but I think we need to do all of them.
Speaking of partial answers, Kevin, if you would.
Well, apropos, I guess, of Thane's presentation there, I know, Thayne, you voted to abstain from supporting Prop 30. It seems to me that Prop 30 is absolutely mandatory right now, and those of you who know about public school funding in California know also that there's something called Prop 98.
38.
I'm sorry. 98.
98. Oh.
Yeah. 38 is the pixie thing, Jim, but that's just Prop 98. Prop 98 allocates a particular amount of the overall state budget to K through 12 education. So, to the extent that, I mean, you know, we can argue about it, but as a general matter, that safety is in place, and to the extent that we can increase the revenues in the state of California by what I would consider to be relatively innocuous things, at least to most of us, that is a 0.25 or 1%, that's a quarter of 1% increase in the sales tax for 4 years, and an increase in the personal income tax for individuals making over $250,000 a year, and for families it's greater than that, it's up into 300s. So we need to make this pass. We need to pass it, and it's got to pass by a mere majority. So it's not a supermajority, a majority. If it doesn't pass, however, I don't think that things like OEF and other great organizations really can even touch this, because we're talking about a huge, huge amount of money. So the things I would consider: trying to get people to not take vacation, keep kids in school as much as you can. You know, obviously, I think Linda's idea, you know, go to Bruckheimer again. I mean, I think everybody in this town has gone to Bruckheimer with something, but eventually maybe he'll say yes. You know, 1.5 million wouldn't be huge to him. But then I would focus on the kids. Then you're going to have to provide services for the kids to make up for it. We were already doing at Topa Topa after school stuff on Wednesdays when we don't have school. We would have to just marshal our resources. Mitt, I'm not going to take that.
All right.